This is what you might have missed on BCSN's Sports Nightly.
It is time to go inside the birdcage, brought to you by Overhead Door. Once again, as always, John Wagner, the Toledo Blade. He is the man to go to when you need Toledo Mud Hens information. And Wags, things are happening. The shuttle bus from Detroit to Toledo and back again is happening. And this time, we thought we were going to get some help, but I don't know if it's the good kind of help anymore. Shane Green going to get down here to Toledo. Will that help the Mud Hens?
That's a good question. I don't know if it'll help the Mud Hens.
Right.
I think it will help the Tigers, though. Is that a good answer for you? I guess it depends on which team you're rooting for.
In what way?
Here's what I've done is I made a comparison to a guy that the Tigers sent to Toledo in 2010.
All right.
Guy has just been traded for, had been put in the rotation and had struggled. His ERA when he got sent down to Toledo was 7.25.
Yes.
Are you figuring out who this person is?
He's not here anymore.
He's not here anymore.
He's doing very well.
Because he went out and killed it in 2 starts with the Hens, righted the ship on his big league career, and where have you gone? Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what they did to Max in 2010. Just a couple of starts, if for nothing else, to catch his breath. Now, he also did work on some command things that obviously turned around to the good. The hope is that that'll be the same thing for Shane Green.
Yeah, well, obviously that's the hope, and I don't know if he'll ever get to Scherzer-like levels, especially what he's doing. But serviceable would be great at this point, I think, if you're Ausmus and the Tigers.
Right, exactly. And I mean, it wasn't as if Green had gone completely off the cliff. I mean, the ERA early on, those first 3 starts this year,
fantastic,
outstanding, almost too much to expect.
Right.
And it's made some of the starts recently not maybe look as bad as they were. But it tells you that the guy has got talent. You're right to say he's not Max Scherzer because he's not.
Right.
But he's very, very competent at the major league level. I would assume that as long as he starts for the Hens, he'll do a good thing here. And hopefully he'll get things righted to go back to Detroit.
I don't know much. I'm admitting it. But anytime your name comes in line with a stat that hasn't been used since 1900 in a bad way, see the Angels game where he gave up the 5 home runs in less than 3 innings, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but that stuff happens. I mean, I hate to dismiss it so cavalierly, but you have to look at a body of work. And his body of work, especially if you start with last year, has shown that he can pitch at the major league level. I mean, he needs to work on command issues, primarily off the fastball. I mean, I feel like I'm a broken record. Command issues of the fastball. Command issues of the fastball. Who are you going to ask me about next? I guarantee I'm going to say command issues of the fastball.
This is the man who's learned television, because this segues right into our second point, and it's a point that we talked about before, and I just want to take it back a couple of weeks, John Wagner. His name, Bruce Rondon, and Bruce Rondon
is a Mud Hen now, as we predicted, I believe, last week.
Yeah, and I said maybe West Michigan if he keeps going at the rate he's going.
Well, let's put it this way. He got 3 outs before he gave up a run on Sunday. Woohoo. But he is now going to be a Mud Hen. And again, it's the fastball, commanding the fastball, because everything else is set up off of that.
Right.
Now, his breaking stuff has not been great.
No.
It's been inconsistent. He's had some good, some bad, and unfortunately the bad gets hit hard around the yard.
Yes.
But, if he can get back to throwing the good consistently, commanding the fastball, he could actually give the Tigers a lift down the road.
So we're hoping, I guess, as Tigers and Mud Hen fans, he's not pressing now that he's going to be a Mud Hen. Now he's like, okay, I have to focus here. I'm not going to be going up anytime soon.
I'm not sure if it was pressing, Eric, as much as the guy didn't pitch at all last year. In fact, he hadn't pitched since August of the previous year. So there's probably some rust being knocked off. That's me guessing. But I'm thinking once the rust gets knocked off, if he can find a consistent release point and become the Bruce Rondon we saw a couple years ago in Toledo, that'll help the Tigers immensely.
True, no question. We'll see. Yeah. You can always, be better than what you are. And speaking of that, the Tigers, I mean, they're just kind of, if they could play the Indians every week, it'd be a different story. But is there anybody in the pipeline? I mean, Dave Dombrowski is the king of blockbuster deals. We're getting close to that trade deadline. Is anybody in the pipeline? What are the rumors? What are you hearing in the coop scoop?
It's funny you say that, because he has become the king of the guys who makes the big trade using the farm system to get players to help the Tigers. There's a problem this year.
That's true.
He doesn't have much in the farm
Right,
system.
right.
He's going to have to find some people interested in players the Tigers have. And right now, the Tigers farm system is rated number 30 in Major League Baseball out of
30?
30, yeah. So there's not a lot of hope there. What he may have to do is take a little more speculative trade, a more high risk, high reward trade, a guy who might be a free agent in the years ahead, or after 2015.
Right.
The name that comes to mind for me is Johnny Cueto.
Okay.
Going to be a free agent at year's end, so you're going to be renting.
Yeah.
But boy, if you could plug that into your starting rotation, would that not be a boost?
I don't disagree, but is he healthy? I mean, he's got health issues, and then who do you send? I mean, I guess people could look at catcher because you've got McCann's playing well. Holiday's there for a backup, but Alex Avila is coming back,
hopefully on his way back.
Maybe
right.
Cespedes, is he going to be around after next year? Is he a guy maybe you send?
The one thing that Dave Dombrowski has said is that the guys who are on the final year of their contract, Cespedes is a big name, Alfredo Simon, David Price. He said that those guys are not going anywhere. The Tigers are all in to try and win the division or just to make the playoffs.
Right.
So they're not going to trade away guys who could help them do that.
You say all in, like the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah. Oh, man. Don't even go there.
So much hope, so much hope. This is why we bring him. We could go on forever. I guess your wife is happy we're not because she wants you home at some point. He's John Wagner of the Toledo Blade. Get everything you want to know about the Toledo Mud Hens here inside the Birdcage and the Toledo Blade.
Be sure to watch Sports Nightly weeknights at 10:30 on BCSN and follow us on Twitter at sports_nightly.